Yo, Wagwan YouTube, it's your boy Mitro coming at you with another story time from Bangkok Park in Thailand. So, funny story, I got tricked by a taxi driver today. Apps you should use over here if you're coming to Thailand to travel, and you want to like use an app like Uber. So the equivalent of the Uber app here is Bolt, or you get Grab. Yeah, both apps will give you fixed prices depending on where you want to travel from point A to point B. So that is your best bet because it's the most affordable method of travel, and that way you're not getting ripped off, you know where you're going, etc, etc. So what happened today when I arrived to Bangkok airport was I booked a taxi from Bolt. I was on the ground floor. He told me to come to the 4th floor and then text me what entrance I'm at. I did that. I went to the 4th floor and then I texted him, I'm at entrance 3, I'm coming out now. And as I was walking outside of entrance 3, there was a taxi stopped outside, like directly in front of me, and I thought that he was already waiting for me I thought that the person waiting for me was my Bolt taxi because he was on the exact same location where it showed on the GPS, right? And he even like waved at me. Yeah, generally it'll tell you the license plate of the car that you're getting into with the Bolt taxi. So if you want to verify and you're not getting tricked or scammed, then always check the license plate. But as I had just gotten out of my flight, I was kind of tired. I didn't check the license plate, and the way he waved at me, and not only that, but there's so many coincidences that like he got super lucky. He was wearing like the exact same blue shirt, like a blue long sleeve shirt, and looked exactly like the dude. He had the guy on the Bolt app had like a face mask, but the guy the taxi driver who picked me up had the exact same outfit, looked exactly the same as the dude in the profile picture. So, and he waved at me, and when I asked him, "Are you Bolt?" he said yes. So he lied to me, which is kind of a shitty thing to do, but as the story progresses, not that big of a deal. We'll get to it. So he said he was Bolt. I got in the car. He asked me where I'm going, which I was a little bit thrown off by that because, as I said, this is like the equivalence of Uber, so I already put the destination in, so he should already know where I'm going. But he asked me where I'm going, and sometimes I've had experiences in Thailand where they just want to confirm that I'm the customer, so they like to double check that I'm the customer going to the right destination. So that's what I thought it was, right? I showed him the Bolt app, and then I was like, "Is this you?" And he was like, "Yes." He said yes, and then he was like, "It's gonna be 400 baht," but I was like, but it's a fixed price. But then he was like, "Oh, with the highway traffic, with the whatever," he was like, he was just he was he was peddling like snake oils, or he was like trying to work his way around it with his silver tongue. Didn't really have much of a silver tongue, but like I said, I was tired. I had just gotten off an 11-hour flight, so I was like, okay, whatever. And then because it was only like 75 baht extra, which is only like the equivalent of like 2 or 3 euros, and I think the highway toll or something is like 50 baht sometimes you have to pay like the highway toll. So I was just like, okay, 400 baht, the original price was 325, let's go. And then like 5 minutes later, when we're already on the highway, I get a message from my Bolt taxi driver, like the legitimate one, asking me, "Where are you?" And at that moment I realized that the taxi driver had lied to me. Now, after I found out that he lied to me, I was a little bit upset. I was a little bit upset and a little bit angry, and I was thinking about asking him to just turn around and take me back to the airport. But at the end of the day, I was already on the highway. I was already in the car, in the taxi. If I had asked him to take me back to the airport, I probably would have had to pay him for that little trip, so it wasn't really worth it. He kept his word on the 400. It was only 400 baht, so at the end of the day I only lost like 2 or 3 euros, which is not that big of a deal. But I feel kind of let down that the dude the dude tricked me. That was a little bit of a shitty thing to do, that he lied to me. But at the end of the day, 2 or 3 euros, it's not the end of the world. People are just trying to make a living as well over here. He probably had a slow day. It's tough life being a taxi driver. He probably had a slow day, probably has a family to feed. So at the end of the day, I just let it go, and I didn't get angry at him. I didn't we had no negative interactions. To be honest, the guy was actually pretty chill. We had a decent convo on the way here as well, but I felt kind of scammed at the end of the day, which I kind of was. And I'll just say this, that I feel bad for the Bolt driver who was the actual legitimate driver who was waiting for me, and that didn't end up getting the fare, and that didn't end up getting me as a client because I canceled on him. Then I canceled the trip once I was already on the highway. Yes, I just wanted to make this video for new tourists, just who don't know the exact layout of the land or how to get around. So always use Bolt or always use Grab if you're trying to get transportation, if you're trying to get a taxi, or if you want to get a tuk-tuk or a taxi or something else. Always make sure you agree on the fixed price before you enter the car. Today what I did was a little bit risky, but he was a chill dude. Like I said, it was only 400 baht. It was only 75 baht more than what I was originally going to pay. So I wasn't scammed in a bad way. Yes, I was scammed. Yes, I was lied to, but it's not gonna put a damper on my vacation. It's not gonna ruin my trip. Like I said, he was a chill guy. We had a decent conversation. I feel bad, like I said again, for the dude who was legitimately supposed to pick me up. But just as a fair warning to new tourists, always make sure you agree on a fixed price with whatever transportation you're getting into. That's why I always use Bolt or always use the Grab app. If you do want to take a tuk-tuk because maybe you want the local Thai tuk-tuk experience, which is pretty dope, especially driving around in the city in the evening if you're with your significant other or just a bunch of friends, then I would highly recommend getting a tuk-tuk. But never get into never get into a taxi or a tuk-tuk, and yeah, never get into a taxi or a tuk-tuk without an agreed price, and then they take you somewhere and then they charge you whatever they want, because that is a sure way to definitely get scammed. And then at the end of the day, you can't really do much if you don't agree to whatever they say, because I think as a foreigner, the Thai authorities are probably going to side with the locals a little bit more, you know. And as a foreigner as well, if you didn't agree on a set price before you leave to your destination, then that's kind of on you. Another thing about the taxis here, if you're not getting taxi from one of the apps like Grab or Bolt, then always ask the taxi driver to turn the meter on. A lot of them will try and upcharge you and not use I think there's government fixed rates, or I think there's fixed taxi rates here that they're supposed to use, and they're always supposed to have the meter on. But a lot of them will try and trick you and say, oh, the meter's broken, oh, this and that. So just a fair warning to you guys. I've never personally gotten into a taxi or a tuk-tuk that's tried to pick me up off the side of the street. You know, sometimes if you're a foreigner, like if you're white or if you're black, if you're not Thai pretty much, they'll see tourists just walking along the road, and sometimes they'll just both taxis and tuk-tuks will just come and stop and beep beep, do you want to ride, do you want to ride. I've even had this happen to me as of recently today. So that was my quick little story time. Nothing bad really happened. It didn't put a sour taste in my mouth. It's actually kind of funny now, now that I think about it, and I have a story to tell. I would be more upset if it was outrageous prices, but yo, 2 or 3 euros is not bad. Like I said, the dude was chill, but I definitely got hustled, man. But I gotta respect him, man. I gotta respect the hustle culture and gotta respect the hustlers out there, because your boy got finessed today, bro. I just feel bad, like I said, for the other dude. But at the end of the day, just fair warning, if you're new here, always make sure you agree on the prices. And the easiest way to get around is you use Bolt or use Grab. It's not only the most cost efficient, but that way it's also the safest, because that way if anything happens, like a car collision or something, or maybe even if you lose, maybe even if you forget something in the car, you might be able to contact them in some way and have them return that item to you. Alright, I mentioned this a little bit earlier on, but I'm not sure if I'm going to include that part in this video. But I have a lot of old footage that I need to get through, and a lot of old content that I need to edit. So that's going to be on the main agenda for this week. I'm going to try and make vlogs every single day, like maybe 1 or 2, up till the point of where I have rinsed through the old content and used it, so that way I can just practice my editing skills. I can just practice making better quality content for you guys, even though what I filmed back then wasn't really of great quality, you know. It's not that interesting. But I think going forward, after I've caught up with everything, I will have certain video ideas. I'm gonna make the video ideas before I film the videos. Sometimes maybe I'll just go with spontaneous, go with the flow, but I feel like there's certain things I want to do here in Bangkok and in Thailand in general, and there's also new places that I want to see. So if I go explore some temples or yada yada yada, this and that. I think I want to make more informative content, more informative videos for you guys, like talking about the history of the temple, having like a little bit of a storytelling aspect to that. But like I said, I still have to edit through like 6 or 7 new videos, so we're going to be focusing on that and try and getting caught up before the end of this week, and that way come next week I can hop on the vlogger train again, and then make more content for you guys. Damn, there was a squirrel, man. I gotta sometimes like have the camera on and just film footage, you know. But I think that's gonna be it for the vlog. Alright, that's gonna be it for the vlog. Hope you guys enjoyed this story time, and just remember to stay safe out there. Otherwise, I haven't really had any bad experiences in Thailand. That's the first time people have tried to scam me here before. Like some Indian guys have tried to tell me my fortune by saying, oh, you have a good forehead, that means you're super lucky, like a man. But I just walk past them, you know. And then there's of course those guys that are trying to sell you like soapy massages, those sketchy dudes showing you guys flyers of like girls in the jacuzzis and trying to sell you soapy massages, and like the obvious like telltale scams, right? But for the most part, it's been pretty decent. And like I said, I got finesse today, but it was only 2 or 3 euros, so it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. It's a funny story to tell. But just a reminder, stay safe and you'll enjoy your time here. Otherwise, people here are super friendly, and it's one of the most welcoming countries that I've ever been to, because you can truly just be anyone you want out here and no one's gonna judge you for it, you know. Alright, without further ado, catch you guys next time.